Hi, my loves. Welcome back to the Starscartel channel. If you don't know, I'm Star. So, y'all, I was just sitting up here, okay, about to get ready to figure out what message God want me to give today. And he gave me one while I was looking at my tomato plant, okay? Because I'm looking over here getting all excited. I'm like, oh, I can't wait for this to grow. I can't wait for that to grow. You know, checking everything out, okay? Looking at the progress, you know, like the progress of my cucumber plant here. And I got another tomato plant over here. I got some peppers and some purple basil that I'm just waiting patiently. I look at my big cute tomato plant back here. And I'm just like, you know, it would be nice if you would give me some fruit. You know what I'm saying? You done got big. You strong. Okay? The stem on it is all good and strong. Okay? And you know, like, I'm just waiting on the fruit. And, you know, it just reminds me of, you know, the little garden sticks that say grow, please. Like, it don't say please, but I can't say what it say. But, you know, the little signs that you put, like, it's like, please, just grow. Just grow. Just what do you need from me, okay? And God is saying that this message is for one of his children, okay? The scripture comes from Isaiah 37 and 28. I am aware whether you stand or sit. I know whether you come or go. And also your rage against me. Because of your rage against me and your fury which has reached my ears, I will put my hook in your nose and my bit in your mouth and make you return the way you came. This shall be a sign for you. This year you shall eat the aftergrowth. Next year what grows of itself. But in the third year sow and reap, plant vineyards and eat their fruit. The remaining survivors of the house of Judah shall again strike root below and bear fruit above. For out of Jerusalem shall come a remnant, and from Mount Zion survivors. The zeal of the Lord of hosts shall do this. So here's the message. Here's the message. Here's the message. Here's the message. Okay. God said, regardless if you know it or not, he knows everything that you do. Okay. And he knows everything that's going on. And he is saying, if you are sitting around, okay, doing like, you know, how I'm looking at the plants, like, can you please? For those of you that don't know, plants, they, I don't want to say that they communicate because I can't talk to plants. I'm going to be real and say, I don't believe that I can talk to plants. I'm not going to sit here and say that. But I will say that they are, like, they do show some kind of emotion, okay? When they are not getting the proper sunlight, when they are not getting the proper nutrients, when they are not getting the proper water, they will wilt and start to look sad, okay? I saw how there were two plants that were together, and one of them was male, one of them was female. One of the plants was removed away from it, and, you know, it was pulled up. The other plant started to look so sad. It had water, it had nutrients, it had sunlight, but it looked so sad. And it was just like, you know, it's like it could sense that the plant, its companion, was taken away. And that's just like, for those of you that like gardening like me, okay, if that is your hobby, like it's my hobby, there's a such thing as companion planting. Tomato plants like to be planted near basil, okay, because basil helps to keep certain pests away that the tomatoes just simply don't like. And the tomatoes can provide the basil with a little bit of shade every now and again. And that's just like other there are other herbs like oregano wards away certain pests. So and you know, then there are plants like my garden cress over here. Every time I sit it next to something, it is trying to, like, it's like it's fighting, okay? And I joke around about my hair sometimes, how my locks down here by the roots, they can get tangled up. And I always say, if y'all don't stop fighting each other, you go over here and you stay over here, and that's how we doing it, okay? Because I do not have freeform locks, okay? And it's like, I don't. And it's nothing against anybody that have freeform locks. I just personally don't have freeform locks. And I don't want my locks to grow that way. I like them just how they are. I don't care if this one is chunky and then, you know, this one's kind of medium, and then I have like this thin one right here. I'm not tripping about that. I like my locks just as they are. I started my locks myself. I parted them myself. I twisted it myself, and I love them. And I just feel like that's just the way that this plant, the garden crest, I had to move it all the way in the corner over here by my cross, because, and it's even like stretching out towards that, like it's now stretching out off to the side, but now it's in a position where it can't snatch up, because at first it was over here by the sorrel, and they were getting all tangled together. Then it started getting tangled with the coriander, and it's like every time I moved it somewhere, it would wrap around the other plants. And it's just like the plant, like you could just tell. That's just like my lavender. I had to move my lavender to where it wasn't getting as much light as usual, because lavender don't like a lot of sunlight. But then again, we have like tomato. The tomato don't get sunlight, it's gonna be mad. It's gonna start drooping. And I had that problem with the tomato plant I had in the greenhouse. I realized I had to take it up out of there because it was not happy with the greenhouse. Not because it didn't like the humidity, but it could not stand not being directly in the sun. And you know, then you have other plants like spinach. Really, like spinach likes the sun, but spinach would prefer to have a cooler climate. And I'm just going over this to tell you that all these are different. They all have different, like when I say they have emotions, it's like they have different wants and needs. And one thing that I love about gardening is kind of like getting to know each and every plant as an individual. And that's just even to the specifics of knowing that like there are different kinds of tomatoes. Certain tomatoes like certain things that other tomatoes don't like. Certain, like, and you just have to, it's a lot of trial and error when it comes to gardening, just like it's trial and error with anything, okay? And God is basically saying for somebody, God has been having a lot of trial and error. There has been a lot of trial and error with you. And as mad as you are that you don't have whatever it is that you want, God says, I am aware whether you stand or sit. I know whether you come or go. Okay, He know everything about you. And this is somebody, you are upset because you are ready to bear fruit. You are upset because you feel like maybe you have gotten to this point. You know how this tomato plant is just growing and it's just growing and it's just, this is my second time lifting this thing up. And this is just, I think a few days ago I lifted it up. And it's been lifted up again. And I don't know how far up this is going to go. I don't think it's going to go too much farther. And, you know, this one is, of course, different from this one. In order to lift this one up, I actually have to pull this apart. This one, I could just raise it up or, like, make it go down. But that doesn't matter. But I guess it's just the, what I think, a $10, $20 difference between the two. But, yeah, and I definitely suggest the one in the back because this video is not about that. But God is basically saying, okay, you may feel as though you are frustrated that the fruit is not there. God says, okay, I will put my hook in your nose and my bit in your mouth and make you return the way you came. God says He is not about to play with you today. He is not about to play with you today. He is not about to play with you today. Sometimes the journey is going to take a minute. Okay, and that's just like me thinking about, y'all, my channel has reached 7K. Glory to God. Glory to God. Thank y'all. I love y'all so much. Y'all don't even understand. Y'all don't even understand. I love y'all so much. I was looking at, and I know, because I actually went on my computer and looked at it. And it was basically, you know, like, and, you know, I looked at, like, over the years and how long it took me. I had my channel for 5 years before I finally got a subscriber, okay? 5 years. 5 years. Granted, I wasn't posting as much on YouTube as I was. I was more focused on Instagram than I was on YouTube. But YouTube has finally, okay, like over, like it's over how many people I had on Instagram. YouTube has towered over that. And it has been a long time coming. But God is saying that even when you look at it, okay, at first I was going one way. And I was so mad. Okay, I was so mad that my channel wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. I was so upset that it wasn't growing the way I wanted it to grow, that I got completely upset and decided I'm just going to deal with Instagram because Instagram is working for me. But God says sometimes he has to put his hook in your nose and his bit in your mouth and make you return the way you came. So that can be a sign for you that what you were doing is not what he wanted you to do. Okay? God says, this year you shall eat the aftergrowth. Next year what grows itself, but in the third year sow and reap. And ironically, even with that, okay, now we are 3 years in of me going, following the path that God had destined for me. Now we are 3 years strong of me, like, listening to God, taking heed into what God wanted me to do and following God's direction. And, you know, it has not been easy. Just like gardening is not easy. I just explained to y'all characteristics about several different plants that are sitting up here. They all like several different things. They are all different. And, you know, it doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. Just like gardening is not easy. Someone that don't know my struggle that I've had with gardening would come on here and think that I just have a green thumb and I just know so much and I'm so good at gardening. But in reality, it has been a long time coming, because there have been several times that I sowed seed and returned nothing. And nothing would grow. And nothing would sprout. I'm still sitting here waiting on this aloe vera plant to grow. And it's just dirt. And I'm thinking that maybe I'm going to have to grow something else in that pot. But it is what it is. And I just feel like God is saying that don't give up too soon just because God is redirecting you. Don't get into a position where you feel like you have to completely give up. You know, sometimes we get in that another J. Cole song. The good news is you came a long way. The bad news is you went the wrong way. Okay, and that's what I went through. The good news is you came a long way. Congratulations. The bad news is you were supposed to be going this way. Okay, and it is what it is. But God says, the remaining survivors of the house of Judah shall again strike root below and bear fruit above. So God says now you are entering into this season where you will bear fruit. You are finally entering into the season where you will bear fruit. And I believe I posted a picture of the first like little tomato that I got, that I put the seed in the ground and it grew and I ate the tomato, y'all. Like, y'all, not, like, words cannot explain. And that happened this year. And that is not my first time planting a tomato plant. So, you know, it's kind of like, you know, sometimes things take a minute. And some people, they get lucky. They start a YouTube channel and they immediately get followers. They immediately have all, like, they have about 5 videos and got millions of people watching them and subscribe to their channel. And some people, the journey is just a tad bit longer. But God says that regardless to what kind of journey you have to go down and what kind of roads you have to follow, it doesn't mean that you should all the way give up. Okay, it doesn't mean that you should just throw in the towel. Like, after, you know, me having to leave all my hard work, okay, the whole greenhouse and garden and everything, and like, some people would just be like, I give up. But not me. That's not the first time, okay, that I planted things and I wasn't able to take it with me, or I wasn't able to just eat the fruits that I planted. It is what it is, you know, and I know that there will be another day. And I just feel like God is saying that this is not meaning that you should give up. Just because God is redirecting you does not mean to give up completely. It does not mean to just throw everything away. It does not mean that you have to just completely sit down and, you know, be ready to pull your hair out and be ready to be so, what in the world is, oh, I guess that's a fuzzy, I don't know, y'all didn't see it, but It doesn't mean that you have to just, don't give up on your dreams. Just because something come out of nowhere, just how the little fuzzy, I don't know, I guess it was in my hair. Maybe it was some, what is it called? Like this fuzzy, y'all can't see this. But I have this chair sitting next to me that have like a little fur, I put a fur, what is it called? Fur fabric over the seat. Okay. And it's kind of like, I saw it floating in the air, and I guess it was a piece of it, or a piece of, yeah, it has to be that, or one of my blankets, that just, it was just flowing in the, around, and y'all know I got a fan on in here, it's very hot, okay, Houston is very, very hot, and, it floated across, and it shocked me. I was like, what is going on? Where did this come from? But God is saying, just because things come up out of nowhere and things pop up and surprise you, and like, you know, just because certain things happen, it doesn't mean that you have to give up altogether. It doesn't mean you have to give up altogether. At first, I wasn't even expecting to get this back. Okay, this one in the back. I wasn't expecting to get this back, and I bought a new one. And then when I got this one back, I was like, okay, well, I have double. And I just feel like for somebody, God is saying, you don't have to just all the way give up. And for somebody, that's a message. Because it says that you shall strike again, root below, and bear fruit. Okay? God is saying that he is going to ensure that you are blessed for all of your work, all of your hard work. Even if sometimes it take you years, and like just like years without making one bread cent, years for me to get to where I am. And I'm just at a point where I'm barely getting by, but it took me years to get here. It took me years to get to this position. And I just feel like God is saying, just because it takes a while, just because it's not happening the way you want to, don't turn around and get upset with God. Don't get mad at God just because he tells you, no, I don't want you to do that. I want you to do this. And, you know, when God first started telling me to start prophesying, I was trying to do both. I was trying to do beauty and prophesy. And eventually I realized that they don't even stand close to each other. When I am prophesying and I'm helping people, that is a whole different ball game than me just putting on makeup. And it's not to knock it and to say that it's bad to do makeup and it's bad to be a makeup artist. But, you know, it's completely different. That's just like, you cannot compare the job that a nurse has to the job of someone that is working retail. Because a retail job, it's not to say that it's a bad job and that it's not a job that is necessary, but it is to say that a nurse's job is way more important, because when you get sick, you need them. And you need retail more so because you want to go shop, or because you may need something from the store, or you may need other things, but that is a completely different kind of need, if that makes sense. And, you know, like I said, it's not to bash anybody, because, you know, I still would enjoy, I'm not even going to say that, because that would not be telling the truth. I don't really watch makeup tutorial videos anymore, so I can't even say that I still enjoy them, but I can say that I still enjoy fashion shows. I can say that. I do. I still, every once in a blue moon, it's not as much as I used to, because I used to keep up. Every season I will be trying to see everybody fashion show. I don't do all that no more. I'm just being real. I used to be the type of person that would sit up and watch makeup tutorials all day long, as well as recording makeup tutorials all day long. I don't do that anymore. I gotta be honest. I gotta be real. I can't even sit here and try to say I can't. And I'm sitting here trying to think, and I really do not remember the last time I watched a makeup tutorial. I do remember the last time I watched a fashion show, and that was months ago. Months ago, like the beginning of the year, okay? And I'm not really, and it's nothing, you know, like I'm not, I don't know. But God is saying, don't get upset with him just because he puts his hook in your nose and he turns you around. You can't get mad at God because he decided that you needed a new start. And, you know, that would just be like, if this tomato plant was to never get to the point where it bears fruit for me, I have this tomato plant that can bear me fruit. And I just feel like God is saying that it's not a position, He's not putting you in a position to where you will never have these things. He's not putting you into a position where you will never get to this point. He's not trying, God is not holding you back. Your disobedience to what God wants you to do is what was holding you back. God is saying that He turned you around. He simply turned you this way because you was going the wrong way. And God says whatever is remaining, He's going to bless. Okay? So, that's just kind of like I said, I wasn't expecting this to come back to me, but it did. And you know what is remaining has been blessed. It has been a blessing to me because I can come over here and get the lettuce, and the spinach is getting mature over here, and the sorrel, and you know, it's just so awesome. It's a blessing. And God, and you know, and then once these are done and I have to replant over here, these should be mature. And I just feel like God is saying that don't look at whatever it is that God has you going through right now. Whatever this restart is, it's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with a restart. Can be so refreshing. It can be so refreshing because the greenhouse that I bought to replace the other one is like, I like it. I haven't put it up yet, but when I looked at it, and it's just like, this will be the third greenhouse that I've had. The first greenhouse was entirely too small. The second greenhouse, I liked it. I can't lie. I loved it. Okay. I just wish that it had more space for me to have bigger plants inside, just in case I want to have some kind of exotic plants that don't like cold weather. Okay. And this greenhouse that I purchased has space for all of that, as well as the shelves, and it's bigger than every greenhouse I have ever had. And you know, I just feel like God is saying that there is nothing wrong with growing. It's nothing wrong with transitioning. It's nothing wrong with moving forward. You just have to keep going. Just keep it pushing. Keep it pushing. And God is saying you're going to grow. Don't worry, you're going to grow. Don't worry, you're going to bear fruit. Eventually, you'll get there. It may not come when you want it, but it's going to come right on time. And that's the message. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.